Hey, everybody, welcome back. It is another episode of Dadcast. I am one of the hosts. I am JP. That guy over there is Nick Martin. Hello, Nick. How are you, bud?
I'm good. It's been a while.
It's been a while. I know. It's everyone's busy. There's things going on, but I'm glad to be back with you, brother. The other host, our man in his brand new place. Look at that thing. It's beautiful back there. Jesse Dugas, how are you, bud?
What up, fellow? I'm a hell of a lot cooler than you are right now.
Oh,
it is a
man.
Nice, cool,
little
68 degrees.
Yeah.
Studio right here.
My studio is lacking any AC currently. It's about 130 degrees in here, so we got to get to this thing. Jesse, it is with great honor that I give to you the privilege of introducing today's amazing guest. Man, take it away.
I am privileged enough to consider him a good friend, but more importantly, he is the leading expert in nitric oxide science. Besides all of that, he's an incredible family man, which is why we have him on the podcast today. Nathan, my friend, it is great to see you. How are you?
Jesse, doing great. Good to be with you. JP, Nick, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Yeah. He is Dr. Nathan S. Bryan. And I don't even know what nitric oxide science is, so I'm sure we're going to get into that here shortly, I hope. The very first question, though, and I think Jesse may have given it away already, but that is all right. It is a rite of passage. We're going to ask it anyway. That is, in fact, good sir, are you a dad?
I am indeed.
All right. Well, talk to us, man. Great. How many, how old, ages, all that good stuff.
Well, my first experience as a dad was when I married my second wife, Kristen. She had a son his name was Grant. He was 2 years old. So I raised Grant from the time he was 2 years old until he passed away, unfortunately, in a car accident in 2018. He's a 20-year-old kid. But yeah, that was very tragic. But, 10 years later I guess in 2010, we had Lincoln, now our oldest, 2008. And Lincoln's 16 now. And then Conley came a couple of years later, and Conley's now 13. So I've been very blessed to be the father of three boys, Grant, Lincoln, and Conley, 2 here on earth and 1 up in heaven.
All right, man. That's always so sad to hear, but yet, still a dad to those guys in this plane. That is amazing. Now, not a girl dad, though. Is there any options for that possibility in the future, or has that ship sailed?
No, I think that ship has sailed and time marches on. So
okay, well,
I love being a girl dad, but I think he dodged a bullet.
I promise he dodged a bullet.
You know what, you guys, though, that's a good topic to get in on. I've been really feeling lately that maybe it's just my own experience with what I'm going on with the boy and his age, but I really feel girls so far, for me, it's considerably easier. And I know that doesn't seem right. It's always been easy for the
disagree.
boy. Well,
yeah, me too.
I'm going to straw. So let me tell you about a story that's about an hour and a half old. So an hour and a half ago, I had to put down, and I didn't. I had to go to the vet and have our 15-year-old cat put down. And so, that's sad enough as it is. My 6-year-old little boy handled it like a champ. My 17-year-old, sure. I'm lucky to be in my studio right now because it took my wife prying my daughter off of my leg because she wanted her cat back.
Yeah.
And so my daughter is my youngest. The boys are easy.
Not when they about to turn 14. And I'm sure you can relate, Nathan, right?
Yeah, my brother's got 2 daughters and a son, and yeah, I compare the difference, and they're really, really good kids. They're all good kids, but I think God knew what he was doing when he gave me boys.
Well, and Nathan's got the premier setup. It's, a lot of people don't know, but it's public on his socials, so I don't mind sharing it. But, besides being a great family man and raising his family, he's doing it on a gorgeous ranch in Texas.
Nice.
And so, raising a couple boys there, it's, you've got cattle, right? You've got horses.
Yeah, we got 800 acres and a couple hundred head of cattle and horses. We rodeo, we compete, team roping, just came from a jackpot roping yesterday. It's a great way to live. It's peaceful. It's tranquil. It's, it's my therapy being home for a while.
And then you're, if I remember, I mean, we haven't talked about this in a little while, but the last time that you and I got to sit at that beautiful restaurant, our favorite place in Vegas that has the best. You want to go ahead and give him a shout out, Nathan? Go ahead.
The Golden Steer.
The Golden Steer. And so we,
I got something to say about that. And you guys are done.
Hang on. So it's, we're sitting there and we were talking, and you were telling me at that point that you were fully self-sustained on your ranch, right?
Yeah, that's right. So we raise our own beef. We grow our own vegetables. Just this past winter, I went ahead and got solar, and I got a backup generator. So we're completely off grid now. We've got ponds, we've got water. So yeah, you gotta hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
Well, not to get too political, but
yeah, this crazy shit that's happening in the right direction. I might be knocking on your door here in a few weeks.
Well, come on, we'll get there too, guys. We'll get there too. I want to back up
real quick, guys. I got to jump in. I have a Dadcast exclusive. I got a call on Father's Day from my oldest. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be the first.
Oh, stop! Hold on.
Wait.
I got have special effects. Hold on. I'm going to try to hit the right one here. No, that's not it. Nope. Okay. I have it. Let's see if this will go through. Go.
Am I supposed to talk before you do the?
No. You just say your thing.
So I'm pretty sure I'm the first host of the podcast to be a grandpa.
Sweet.
There were no effects.
Is it finally happened?
So I've been holding this info since Father's Day.
No way, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Nathan, you would think this is a special moment, but what Nick's not telling you is he has 89 kids.
87, Jesse. Come on, stop stealing my thunder.
I'm prolific guy, huh?
I apologize.
Dude, wow, Nick, that's amazing, bro. We talked about this so much about the possibilities and guests.
And he calls and he's like, "Hey, I got some news for you." I'm like, "What's up?" "You're going to be a grandpa." I'm like, "What?" It's so crazy. Yeah.
Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
You look like a young grandpa.
So I've been like hoping we got to book a guest for Dadcast. It's been so long. Hold this info in for like almost a month now. It's been a while.
Well, for the record, it's been a couple months, but it's not for a lack of guests. It's been for a lack of timing. Busy lives all three of us lead. And but I want to back up here, Nathan, and I'm going to take the Pepsi challenge. No, man, that is absolutely congratulations, bro. And we got to talk more about that. We should actually have an own episode discussing, the first.
I think we need
edition of Grandpa Cast.
I know. Yeah, we definitely need to have him on, and we can talk about yesterday's events too.
Golden Steer. Okay. You took us there, but it's been about a year now, maybe a little bit longer. It was my first experience. Okay. And I think we even talked about it. My favorite joint that I've been to in Vegas is a place called Bavette's inside Park MGM.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've eaten at Bavette's too.
And here's my argument, ambiance, it all depends on your personal take, but ambiance, I'm going to give the edge to Golden Steer just for the strict history that is involved with it. You know what I mean? I mean, come on, we sat at Elvis's table, for crying out loud.
Right after, hey, I'm going to pause in there. Not only did he take us and sit us at Elvis's table, which I don't know if we told Nathan this at the time, but that was right after you and I got a private tour of Elvis's stage and locker room.
Yeah,
at West Point.
At Westgate.
Or Westgate, I mean.
Westgate, he took us down on stage and then took us downstairs to his private bar and his little private bedroom that was there. You could feel the history. I mean, I was down and I mean, it was just.
I've got a picture of me in
amazing.
His silhouette. He used to lean against one particular column right before a show, and they have it labeled with the plaque right there. And so and then a day later, you took us to Golden Steer.
Yeah, well, that was one of the best weekends in Vegas ever. And we both got handies. We won jackpots. We got jackpots. We won handies. We got a handy. It's slang. Okay. Hand pay.
Yes. Hand pay.
But easy, now, JP. This
I'm like, you guys, your wives watch this. What is wrong with you?
I give the edge to ambiance to obviously Golden Steer. Now, food quality, I have a hard time saying one's better than the other. to be perfectly honest, man. That Chicago cut at Bavette's is just to die for. And all the sides and Golden Steer. So I guess what that means is I'm eating my own words, and I'm going to say Golden Steer edges it out. But barely. As the number
I agree.
one steakhouse,
I was at
you know what I
Bavette's
mean?
just a couple of weeks ago. I agree. It's a great
fantastic.
place.
It's so
So
good.
where I give Bavette's the edge, I'm an old fashioned guy. I love the smoked old fashioned at Bavette's.
Oh, yeah.
That smoked old fashioned is phenomenal. But Nathan has an inn at Golden Steer, and we got there was something that was on that we got that wasn't on the menu. Nathan, you remember what it was?
Oh, there were so many sides.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, they're special people and they really take good care of us. So they give us surprises all the time we come in there.
We had a special shrimp dish that wasn't on the menu, and we had some meatballs that were the greatest things I have ever eaten.
That was a great night. Oh, we got to do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
We got to do it again.
Whereabouts in Texas do you live?
I'm halfway in between Austin and College Station. About an hour northeast of Austin.
So did you get the tail end of that hurricane? Did you get the outskirts of it, or did it go by?
You know, I was in Barcelona during the time of the hurricane, so I completely missed it. But I think we had about just a half an inch of rain here.
Okay.
No really damage, a little bit of wind, but no, we avoided it.
All right, that's good to hear. Good to hear.
And then Nathan's a big college sport fan, not just football, not just basketball, not just baseball. He's a college sports fanatic. He does root for his local team there.
Were you Longhorns?
University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns.
A great story. I was in Austin 4 weeks ago for my niece's wedding. First time I've been to Texas in a long time. And first of all, oh man, that humidity. I thought it was just a Florida thing. Okay. Nope. Oh man, it's like sitting in a sponge in Texas. And it was also, turns out it was like 100 degrees plus the humidity. So there was that. But my son, who is 13, almost 14, is football crazy these days. Okay. In fact, he's in his room right now playing NCAA 25, which dropped today, the first time that video game has been out in like 8 years or something. Yeah. But fun fact, we were in Austin and he's like, Dad, this is where Texas plays. So I was like, yeah, get in the car. And we drove over to the stadium and I looked, it was probably 11 o'clock at night. I looked for every possible entrance to get that boy on the field, just to, Dad's getting arrested. Let's go. Just so I can show my son a good time. And we couldn't find an entrance, mind you, but we walked around the entire thing. And what does he tell me as we're leaving? Dad, I'm going to be a Longhorn and I'm going to play for them. And I'm like, I don't have any problem with that whatsoever, but I found it strange that he didn't go for wanting to be a Duck because he was born in Oregon and everything around here is ducks. And I also found it surprising that he doesn't go for his dad's team, USC. I know you're not going to love that one, but the fact that he's like, and he's still at it. He wants to be a Longhorn. He wants to play there. So,
it's a great institution, great education, great sports program.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat.
What's your best memory with your kids at a college event?
That's a good question.
Mine?
Yes, sir.
We've been season ticket holders at UT for a number of years, ever since we moved back from Boston in probably 05 or 06. I think the best time was the LSU game from a couple of years ago. It was such a close game. It was one of the first games of the season. It was in Austin. It was hotter than hell, hotly contested. And, LSU came in and beat them in the last minute, but just the energy and Burrow, the year they won the national championship. I mean, it was electric in the stadium, that game. But, every home game, we got club seats right on the field, in the south end zone. So it's really it's an unbelievable experience, a game experience.
I'm going to go tell my son his friends we're done.
Yeah, the boys are athletes. All three boys were really extremely good athletes. Grant, oldest, played Division II basketball. But my younger boys are really good in football, really good in basketball. And really they focus on that. So it's really football, basketball, and golf.
Who's your NFL team?
I've never asked you this, and I've always wanted to. You a golfer, Nathan?
I play the game. I'm not a great golfer, but I go out with the boys and smack the ball around.
Very nice.
Who's your NFL team, Nathan?
I've always been a Cowboys fan. It's hard not to be in Texas and not be a Cowboys fan. But, I've really been rooting for the Texans lately. The Texans
after last year and CJ, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
watch out. Watch out.
The Cowboys,
so
you get your hopes up and it's a disappointment every year. And there's really little expectations for the Texans, So any win is like it's exciting.
You think that's bad? Try being a Charger fan. I mean, just ask Jesse.
Or even better, try being a Raider fan.
I was gonna say that, but I'm like, no, I gotta dig on Jesse on that one. Yeah, it's worse being a Raider fan. That's for dang sure. Oh man, so here we go. The Dadcast podcast has now turned into a sports talk show. You're welcome. You're welcome. And as per usual, if anything sports happens, Nick doesn't say a word.
Like, what? I don't get it.
Oh man! So
you haven't met Nick in person yet. I just realized that.
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't that the week that
wasn't that the week you
had a stroke?
Different trip.
Okay.
No.
We've done so many. That one was different. But what you can't tell by the way that Nick is sitting is he's actually standing.
Nick, dude, he's so much more brutal than I ever have been. What's happening? Why is this going on?
I know.
Let's get.
I honestly, I don't know. Like, it's weird, but whatever. I'm okay with it. Like,
let's get the attention off Nick. All right. He's used to it. So
I'm short. Whatever. It is what it is.
What are you though? You're like, what, 5'7"?
5'8". Really? On a good day.
With shoes on, standing up on your tippy toes.
And a 2-inch lift. Anyways, back to Nathan.
As long as I'm rocking my Air Force Ones.
Dr. Nathan Bryan, before I let it slip, let's talk a little bit about what it is you do and how important it is.
What do I do? That's a good question. Sometimes I ask myself that same question. What do I do?
If someone is, looking to hire you, okay, which isn't the case, you do the hiring, I'm assuming. But if they whip out that resume and be like, okay, I need a Cliff Note version of what this man does and what he's learned and what he's doing right now, that's what we want to hear right now.
Well, number one, I'm not looking for a job, but if I were, the last thing I want is a job. No, I've been in academic medicine for 20 years, studying this molecule, nitric oxide, made a lot of discoveries, filed a number of patents, and over the past probably 15 years, I've commercialized and really productized my discoveries and patents in the nitric oxide space. So my claim to fame is I'm the only person in the world who's made a solid dose form of nitric oxide gas. And we do that in the form of an orally disintegrating tablet. It's a new dietary supplement. We make nitric oxide-based skincare products under the N101 brand. And we've got a drug company called Bryan Therapeutics, and we're developing nitric oxide drug therapy for things like ischemic heart disease. We've got a drug we're developing for Alzheimer's, which is going to be a game changer in treatment and prevention of Alzheimer's. And then we're making a topical nitric oxide drug for diabetic ulcers and non-healing wounds. And we think that's going to transform wound care. There's 60,000 Americans that die every year in nursing homes from infected wounds. And to me, it's unacceptable because we know we now have technology that can treat these wounds, heal them, and keep them from getting infected.
FDA approved.
Hop in real quick. So one thing that Nathan will never do is Nathan will never toot his own horn. I've known him for a couple of years now. We're pretty close.
I'm trying to get the toots here,
right?
Man.
So what he won't tell you, and I am happy to do so, is for everything that he has ever created and put out on the market, he also educates, and he does it for free. That you can find countless articles online that Dr. Bryan has written or that he's been featured in, from advice on how to properly dose to how to potentially cure. And and he tells you, look, he explains and educates what is nitric oxide, how does your body use it, the fact that it diminishes when you get older, the fact that it is needed for all of these different things. And he educates and encourages the general public to do their own research. Something that I have never, ever seen is somebody that's A, a scientist, or B, a doctor, say, let me educate you so you can go educate yourself further, even if it steers you away from my product, just because I generally want you to be a healthier individual. And that's what Nathan's about. And he'll never say that because it comes across the wrong way. But that is why I love that guy. And that's why he's so great at what he does.
Well, thanks, Jesse. No, I think it's important. I mean, look, my job is not to sell you product. I mean, my job is to educate and inform you on nitric oxide so that you can make deliberate and strategic decisions on things to improve your own life. You know, all of us are different and we have different kind of metabolic needs, different nutritional needs. And so there is no one size fits all. So what I try to do is kind of explain the science in practical terms so that the common consumer can understand it, but then, you know, certainly understand how important this molecule is. And then, you know, there's certain things we always try to change diet and lifestyle to prevent the loss of nitric oxide production. And that's always our first line of defense. But when all else fails, you know, then we have product technology that does it for you. So if your body can't make it, we do it for you.
All right.
What else does like the nitric oxide stuff does? Because being in like weightlifting and that type of stuff, I was actually talking to one of my weightlifting buddies today, and he's using a supplement for that. It's a nitric oxide supplement. And he just says it helps with recovery. It helps with endurance. Is that all true, or is it more of a kind of like a placebo thing? Or so, you know, a lot of the stuff you pick up online, it's a placebo thing, and it's like,
There's two answers to the question. So
Okay.
one, I'll tell you what nitric oxide does. And two, I'll tell you that most of the nitric oxide products on the market don't work.
Okay.
So nitric oxide is extremely important in athletic performance and recovery. So really what it does is it dilates the blood vessels, so you're getting better oxygen and nutrient delivery to the working skeletal muscles of the heart. It improves mitochondrial ATP production, so the energy production in the cell. If you have sufficient nitric oxide, then your mitochondria work better. You don't get into the anaerobic metabolism and lactic acid buildup. And so then it turns on and mobilizes stem cells, so you recover better and you repair and replace dysfunctional cells. So everything we know about performance, whether it's weight training, athletic performance, sexual performance, cognitive performance, cardiac performance, all relates to the production of nitric oxide. So that's really what nitric oxide does. Now, there's hundreds of so-called nitric oxide products out there.
Right.
And really the weightlifting and the so-called meatheads were the first adopters back probably almost 30 years ago, 25 years ago. And these were arginine, citrulline-based products with caffeine loaded in them. And so nitric oxide is a vasodilator, caffeine's a vasoconstrictor. So any nitric oxide product that has caffeine in it, forget about it.
Okay.
You're going to lose the vasodilatory effects of the nitric oxide if it actually generates nitric oxide with the constrictor effects of caffeine.
Okay.
But the problem is in well-trained athletes and people who are healthy, they can utilize those ingredients, those amino acids, to produce nitric oxide. But in older compromised patients, they've lost the ability to utilize those amino acids. So basically giving them more is not going to give more nitric oxide. In fact, that's the basis for their deficiency. So any product that has arginine, citrulline in it, these are semi-essential amino acids. Your body makes enough of it to fuel that pathway. So save your money. Those products don't work. They probably have caffeine in it, some niacin. Right. So they got good ingredients in there. And I tell people, it's not that product isn't good. It's just not a nitric oxide product. You're getting some vitamin C. You're getting some, grapeseed extract and niacin, B vitamins, whatever else is in there. Those aren't bad ingredients. They're just not a nitric. It's not a nitric oxide product.
Okay.
No, I'd say, one of the things that I had, because working with Nathan over the last couple of years, one of the things that I learned is you really can't overdose on nitric oxide.
Well, you can overdose on anything, right? You can drink too much water and get hypotonic lysis, and people die from being foolish. But yeah, if you too much nitric oxide, there's only two things: your blood pressure is going to drop, and you may get lightheaded and pass out, or you'll
two things Nick needs
a condition called methemoglobinemia, and that's a big word, but it means you'll get cyanotic, you'll get blue around the lips, and you basically reduce the ability to carry oxygen by the red blood cell. But that's very rare. And, if you wanted to overdo it, obviously you can do yourself some harm. But when taken as instructed, our product is completely safe.
My recommendation, which I have done a lot, anybody that is questioning, Nathan has tested a large line of nitric oxide products that claim to be nitric oxide products that just aren't. So you can search. If you hop on Google, you can search and you can find his results.
Yeah, we haven't made a lot of friends from competitors in that because we basically put their products to the test and they go,
All right, so let me ask you this. So
the website, hold on real quick, Nick. drnathansbryan.com. drnathansbryan.com. Go check it out for yourself. but not now. Wait till this episode's over.
All right. So part of my issue that I had, so like I had like what the doctors thought was a stroke a few years ago in Vegas. Like I lost like half my strength on my left side of my body. It's rough. Excruciating pain, headaches, high blood pressure, stuff I've never had before. Is this something that if I start taking a real nitric oxide that would help counteract that possibly? I'm trying to like find something natural. Like I'm on 2 different blood pressure pills every day. It's not helping. It's just kind of crazy stuff.
Yeah. So nitric oxide is a vasodilator. So if you have high blood pressure, in most cases, it means your body's not making enough nitric oxide because it dilates the blood vessels. So without nitric oxide, your blood vessels become chronically constricted. Right. And so you're pushing the same volume of blood through smaller pipes. That causes an increase in pressure. Okay. So if we give nitric oxide and we dilate the blood vessels, now you have that same volume of blood traveling through more open vessels, and so your pressure comes down.
Okay.
The other things, in people who are vulnerable to stroke or heart attack, really what that means is the lining of your blood vessels become inflamed, and then that plaque becomes unstable. And if that plaque ruptures in the cerebral arteries, it's called a stroke. If it's in your heart, it's called a heart attack. Right. But nitric oxide actually stabilizes that plaque and basically prevents that thrombus and that embolus from causing heart attack or stroke. So if you want to be completely preventative and treat prophylactically, then I would highly recommend you consider a nitric oxide product, not only to normalize and support healthy blood pressure, but to prevent the plaque activation and rupture causing a heart attack or stroke.
Okay. What, if any, are there any side effects to taking it as prescribed, as suggested?
Yeah, no, I mean, better blood flow, better circulation. The top 3
negative side effects.
Negative. We haven't seen. Well, I shouldn't say that. In a very small portion of the population that have been, and what we're finding is that these are people who have been nitric oxide deficient for many years, and we get what's called receptor sensitization. And so what that means is they upregulate the receptor for nitric oxide. So when you take our nitric oxide lozenge, we're saturating those receptors. You get massive vasodilation, and it may cause a slight pressure headache for a while. But then with continued use, it'll downregulate those receptors, and typically you don't get a headache with it. But that's the only thing we found kind of a complaint with the nitric oxide, the way we deliver it and the doses that we delivered in. But besides that, you get better sexual function, athletic performance, better energy, better mitochondrial function. We're mobilizing stem cells. We can pick up endothelial progenitor cells in the peripheral blood. We can extend telomere lengths, which extend lifespan. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I have something I'd like to confess and tell you about that I've been saving. I think I told Jesse yesterday. I have not had a cigarette in 2 weeks.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So,
and like cigarette smoke, this, so you wouldn't.
I've officially quit smoking. Kinda. Now, when I say kinda, I've been smoking pretty much all my life. We're like 30 plus years of my life I've been smoking. So I put them down and I'm vaping here and there, which is still not good for me, but a whole heck of a lot better than cigarette smoke. And the plan is to wean me off cigarettes. I'm 2 weeks in, so I think I'm there. It's all psychological from this point forward. And then slow down on these and then completely done. And step one, I've tried step one multiple times in my life. I've never gone this long. So, and now my mindset now is, dude, okay, I'm done. I'm done buying packs of smokes. I'm done. That is done, you guys. So yay me.
Sweet. Yeah, no, congrats. Look, our greatest asset is our health. Yeah, look, there's nothing good about cigarette smoking. And for me, any decision I make, it's risk benefit, right? What's the risk and what's the benefit? In cigarette smoking, there's no benefit. I mean, psychologically, you're getting benefit from it. But the health, there are benefits.
I know. I know. And that's just, I'm an idiot. And so are everyone else out there. Yeah, thanks, Nick. I appreciate you agreeing with me. No, it's an addiction, man.
And not disagreeing with you.
It's and it was hard. I mean, even with the vape and the nicotine getting it still, it's those small things that holding it and the action. And when you wake up and after a good meal and et cetera, et cetera. Those getting over those, and now it's.
Well, my dad's birthday is Wednesday. His death anniversary is a month from Wednesday, and cigarettes killed him. So he had an aneurysm that exploded that was non-operable, and it was traced all the way back to him smoking. He started smoking when he was 12.
Yeesh, yeah.
And
I want to, I want to see my grandkids. I want to walk my baby girl down the aisle, and I'm taking those steps.
So let's perk this back up. Nathan,
that is a perk, man. Yay, JP.
Right. Congratulations.
What's next in Nathan's world? What do you got coming up?
Well, we're moving our drugs through the FDA, which is, a very painstaking, expensive enterprise. But, we're very confident that, number one, our drugs are safe. Number two, that we're going to prove efficacy in a number of different disease indications. And I'm hopeful that we're going to have our first drug for ischemic heart disease approved and on the market in 2025. And then we're moving, that's for ischemic heart disease. And then we're putting together our clinical trials and our program for the Alzheimer's drug study, a couple of years, and then our topical drug for diabetes.
It'll be huge
to get that drug trial completed.
I'm proud of you. So
thank you. And then on our consumer product side, we're launching a mouthwash and a toothpaste, a nitric oxide friendly mouthwash and toothpaste, because I'm most recently known as the guy who demonized mouthwash.
Yes, you are.
Years ago, that if you use mouthwash, you kill the good bacteria along with the bad, but it destroys nitric oxide. Your blood pressure goes up. You develop erectile dysfunction. So all this notion about getting fresh breath so you can become intimate is actually counterintuitive.
Did you see the epiphany Nick just had? I think he figured it out.
That's freaking crazy.
No, he just figured out what's going on. Stop the mouthwash, man.
I know.
Nick just figured out how to have 11 more kids.
I'm like, damn, mouthwash. Should have just gone with that instead of Trojans when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's true. No, so this is going to be a game changer in oral care. I was at the American Dental Association in Chicago a couple of weeks ago. We finally got their attention, that what they've been doing in terms of oral care is basically causing, increasing risk of cardiovascular disease and causing high blood pressure, which is the number one risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So we finally got the ear of the big guys and starting to reconsider, how do we selectively kill the oral pathogens that are causing periodontal disease, gingivitis, and cavities while maintaining and supporting the healthy microbiome. And we've developed technology that we can do this now in the form of a toothpaste and a nitric oxide microbiome-friendly mouth rinse. It's going to be amazing. It's going to change the landscape of dental medicine and really lead to healthier lives once we get people to adopt this.
What was your anticipated release on that one?
Probably in the next 90 to 120 days. We've got the formula locked in. We're working on packaging and, just finding a manufacturer who can keep up with the demand, because this is going to be a barn burner.
Wow, very cool.
It'd be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Are you guys ready for a complete 180-degree turn in this podcast? Because I'm going to ask a question.
Do it.
I thought you were going to say we're done. You're bouncing because you're too hot.
Oh, no, man. It's hot, but we're getting through this. It's all good.
I'm surprised.
Controversial? Yes. Don't want to answer? Perfectly fine. Okay. I'm going to start with Jesse and give you other two time to think.
Oh, you're going to start with the guy running for mayor.
I'll start.
You need the hard questions, Jesse.
That's right.
This is practice, my friend.
All right, let me have it.
Trump and his attempted assassination only a couple days ago. Initial thoughts, reactions, feelings.
Initial feelings were, holy shit. I don't care what side of the fence you are on. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're an independent. You do not have the right to try to take another human being's life that is not endangering yours. And some people will be idiotic and they'll make statements like, well, he is endangering mine, or Biden's endangering mine. That's bullshit. That's another human being, right? Yeah. So it's for me, my initial thought was, holy crap, because if you watch the slow-mos, his head tilts, and if his head wouldn't have tilted, he wouldn't be here right now.
Yep.
And again, I won't get into the political end on if he's doing great, if he's doing bad, the Biden end. I will say that I feel like our current president could probably use some of Dr. Bryan's product. With that being said, I don't necessarily agree with everything that Trump says and does either. That's why I don't ever put myself in a political class of being, a Republican or a Democrat. I like to be able to pick and choose on how I feel, and I'm not going to let a political party tell me what I'm supposed to believe in. That's just not going to happen. It's not who I am.
Yeah.
But my initial feeling was, one, he's lucky, and two, I got pissed. And then since then, being educated and doing the research, I was news hopping for 3 straight days, all the rest of Saturday night, all day Sunday, a lot of day today spent on it, listening to different podcasts. And this is what I feel. I feel like we will be lucky to get to November without more attempts on both sides. So that's number one. And number two, this could very easily be the start of a civil war if our country cannot figure out how to harness our own emotions and remember that the rest of the world is watching. And there are a lot of powerhouses out there that are waiting for the United States to appear weak so they could take advantage. I'll finish there.
On that comment, Nick, you're next. My initial, I'm not giving my full answer here. I'm just some commentary on what you just said. I thought it was the exact opposite. If it had turned out worse, if he was hit and that was it, then I felt that was the cataclysm to start the process into what could be. Because it didn't happen, I felt, okay, take a big sigh. We just literally dodged a bullet. Nick.
Man. So I've been doing, like Jesse, I've been doing a lot of research, and I find there's a lot of strange things that have happened. One, the debate. Number one, clearly he should not have been allowed to do that debate. Like, absolutely not.
How did you feel after the attempt on the assassination?
I got to answer all these to lead up to it.
No, the initial
My initial thought was, we're not going to make it to November with either candidate. It's going to be, there's no way. And then I did the research, and then all the stuff that led up to what happened.
This has been in the making for 10 years, man.
Biden calls to put a bullseye on Trump 3 days ago. Clooney comes out, stop supporting Trump. All that stuff happens, and all of a sudden, or stop supporting Biden. All that stuff happens, and all of a sudden, there's an attempt on Trump.
Yeah, but you can also argue that that's been going on for 12 years, man.
Yeah, okay. It was just a little weird, though.
This is the kicker for me. The kid that pulled the trigger. You're talking about a 20-year-old,
who hasn't even voted yet.
Individual. Yeah, exactly. Hasn't even had an opportunity. Let your vote speak for you. And then write it, right? Write it. Fall in line and write it. That's fine. But to do what he did, it's senseless. There's no other term. It's completely senseless.
Bryan.
There's no place.
Finishing up with you.
Yeah. No, look, it honestly, it wasn't a surprise. I mean,
right.
If you look at Trump is a disruptive person, and he's extremely disruptive to the political system. These politicians have been in office for 30, 40, 50 years, these career politicians on both sides. They're on the dole. They're on the take. You cannot be a politician making $180,000 a year and develop a net worth of tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars unless you're crooked. And those are the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumers, now the Obamas and the Clintons. I mean, politics is dirty, and Trump, when he went in the first time, said he was going to drain the swamp. The problem is, I don't think he realized how deep the swamp was. And now the fact that they tried to put him in jail, that didn't work. They convicted him as a felon. I think it just elevated his publicity. And the general public is starting to realize how corrupt the government is. And the only solution at this stage of the game is an outsider like Trump. And they know that if he gets in, the party's over. The game is over. Everybody's going to be exposed. And life as we know it life as the politicians know it is over. And they're not gonna stop at anything to not allow him to get elected into office. And so I think they're trying everything. They tried to lock him up. They tried to, disqualify him and get him off ballots. That didn't work. What did they do? They tried to take his life. And I think it's only going to get worse because they've revealed their hands. The left has revealed their hand and they're exposed. And when Trump gets in, shit's going to hit the fan.
There you go. And to try a little ease on this conversation, after an hour or so of just watching the news, because this is one of those events that it's history, man. This is American history unfolding right before our eyes.
if they kept writing history books.
Yeah, exactly.
Valid. But we were here, we witnessed it. My thing that I just, and again, I don't care where you stand, how you lean, love him, hate him, whatever. But the man gets up. I mean, put yourself in that situation. You've just been shot at. You got hit. You've got swarming Secret Service getting on top of you. That is a hectic, crazy situation. And what does he do? Holds them off, doesn't let them take him off the stage, raises a hand in the air and yells, "Fight." And we get one of the most iconic pictures I've ever seen in my life of him raising the American flag. Love him, hate him. If you do not respect him for that right there's a problem, man. Because you can look up the word America in the dictionary now, and it should be that picture right there. And that's I went, he just won. He just won the election right there.
And I'll bring it back. I'll bring it back on being a parent. So my 17-year-old last night, as I'm watching ABC at the time, bouncing back and forth because finding a credible news source now seems to be impossible. Right. So bouncing from news source to news source. So my 17-year-old did something that he never does. And he knew that the shooter was only 3 years older than him. He's turning 18 this coming April. He's going to get an opportunity to vote in the next election. And so he came and he sat down with me and he was asking me all these questions, which means that it's starting to resonate with the younger, demographic, which is great. But he flat out just asked me, he goes, "Dad, doesn't this all just smell funny?" And I go,
he hasn't been alive long enough to realize that it's been smelling funny for a long time.
And that's what I said. I go, it started with one little white lie. Hey, we're going to blur the lines here, but we'll never do it again. And now it's moved to this. And I told him, I go, if you look back, this was the earliest we've ever had a presidential debate. They're not even officially their party's nomination yet.
Yeah, it was by design.
Right. Yeah. And so exactly by design. So you have to start reading into there. You would assume that the Democrats assumed that Biden. So I'm guessing it was two different prongs. I'm guessing prong one, they figured if Biden kills it, we're going to be able to seal it early. Or if he flails, we can shift.
Yep.
We're seeing the shift.
All right.
We're seeing the shift.
Yeah, but I look at this 20-year-old kid, doesn't have a military background. He's frail by nature, a so-called loner. And this guy outsmarts the Secret Service. And it's on a rooftop.
Did you guys see so Zach, my son, he asked me that too. He goes, "How close was it?" And I go, "There's conflicting. I don't know how close it actually is. I tried to Google map it, and it was off of Google.
It was like 200 yards, man.
Yeah,
right.
Did you see the BBC?
Yeah, and so he was asking me. He goes, "With an AR, right?" And I go, that's what they're claiming." He goes, "Well, that's not that long of a shot. Zach's first deer kill was over 200 yards, and so he knows, distances wise." And he goes, how do you think it happened?" And I go, "There needs to be an investigation because there's going to be a lot of people that assume that the Secret Service dropped the ball, and they may have. They very well may have. How long has that venue been in play that's where he was going to be speaking? Was it months old? Is this an opportunity to where that kid could have stashed a gun in a vent a month and a half ago, well before it ever got screened, and let it sit there and then pulled it out?
Witnesses
Or did he
say
carry
they
it up
saw him
and
climbing
not
up
get done?
with the gun strapped to his
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you see the BBC report with the dude that looked like he came out of the Family Values tour? The red hair popping out. They picked like the worst possible guy. No, nothing against you, dude. Your hair doesn't look like a freaking troll. Like they picked the worst possible guy to interview, and they're like, he's like, dude, the guy was like climbing up the ladder, and I was telling the cops, and like you could tell the guy's like clearly stoned, and you're like, oh, come on, like get a credible witness and like make it real. Like this is the fakest thing I've seen so far.
This is what I know. He had a semi-automatic rifle.
Yeah.
And by me listening, and I'm not an expert by any means, but if you count to the point when the shots ended and you can hear the volume difference, you're talking a matter of seconds before he was put down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Seconds. And so did someone...
Obviously, they had clear sight of him.
Yeah.
To see where it's coming from. So were they not surveying the
right?
The latest?
Well, and this
With
is the question that really got me. And Zach asked me, he goes, how is there no vertical patrol or air patrol? And I go, right? When you can literally go buy a drone for, the military's got the good shit, but you can go buy a DJI at Costco for $299 and put it in stealth mode and throw it up in the air and put it in hover, and it will sit there and give you a live aerial of the entire event for $200. Where are the drones? Where are the 360 cameras that you can attach to a drone that give you nonstop surveillance for a mile and a half? Yeah. Those are the questions that need answered.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in hindsight, man. But,
anyway,
these are
we're living in strange
we
times.
We're not going to know. We're never going to know. So.
To what Nathan was saying, with everything being corrupt, we won't. You're right. We will never know the truth. We will never, like the Kennedy
so what happens if
stuff,
both candidates
we'll never know?
Like, let's just say like both candidates are eliminated. What happens? Do we have to wait another year to redo the whole election? Or are we stuck in limbo? Like,
there'll be replacements.
The delegates decide.
Yeah, I just find it weird that out of 7, however many billion people we have in America, that these two guys are the guys.
But Nathan just said the key part right there, right? The delegates decide.
Yeah.
Which means that if you get so long in the process and then you start making these moves, it's no longer the people deciding who's going to run.
Mm-hmm.
That's a scary thought.
Yeah.
It feels a whole lot like a dictatorship.
And on that note, we are donezo with politics. Okay.
You started it. I know. And I'm
ending. Risky move there.
And I'm ending it. Okay. I was hoping for quick, simple, precise, concise answers to that simple question. And I should have known better. We could spend hours.
Jumped into a Joe Rogan situation.
Our own thing. Hey, you're welcome. If we had 3 hours, I would have let that son of a bitch fly. And anywho, so yeah, a crazy time.
You are starting to glisten like a shiny vampire.
Dude, it is so hot, you guys. And I just got a note on my phone. We're due to get hit. And it's already windy out hard by lightning and thunderstorms. So yay, fires. Here we go, guys. It's the season in Southern Oregon, man. So Dr. Nathan, let's get back to the kids, because that's what Dadcast is supposed to be about. Oh, I always ask the same question. Well, not every time, but it's usually much sooner in the podcast. So let's bring it on back. 16 years ago, give or take, you were there for the birth of your first blood child.
Yeah.
Were you in the room? Absolutely, yeah. Do you recall the emotions in that day?
Yeah, I recall it like both kids. It's amazing. I mean, it's you witness a miracle happening right before your eyes. We fertilized this egg 9 months before, and then you see the transformation of this human being out into the world, and it's amazing. It's a it's truly a life-changing experience that I'll never forget.
How about when you were told, hey, guess what? I'm pregnant. How about that day?
Well, we went through a couple of when I lived in Boston, we went through a natural abortion. The baby never fully developed, and my wife had to have a D&C. And so then after that, we tried for about a year and were unsuccessful. And we just kept praying and kept doing the right things, and we eventually conceived. But yeah, it was very exciting because we went and took a pregnancy test, came back positive, and then, weeks later we go for the first ultrasound, we're hearing heartbeat and we see it developing, and then, just the excitement of we did it, just the miracle.
Nice. So in some crazy universe, you have a choice between two things: your sons being forever 2 years old or forever 16 years old. You have to choose one. Which you going with?
Probably the 16-year-old, because, they're independent human beings there. And we're friends, we're buddies. We rope together, we play ball together, we travel together, we can enjoy things. But here's what I miss. I miss the cuddling, the hugging, not the toddler days when they come up and see me after I'm gone for a week, come up and just give you a big hug. And now it's like, they're too cool to hug dad.
Yeah,
you get a hug when they need $10.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Any rebellion or typical teenage stuff in your life?
Now, you know what? We're very fortunate and very blessed. These kids, we put deliberate efforts into raising them right and making sure that they're held accountable and they're responsible and they make good decisions. And I think one of the things that guided their lives, Lincoln was 10 when Grant died and Conley was 8. And so they recognized early on how precious, life is, and, very simple decisions of, getting into the passengers of a friend who's been drinking and you don't wake up, you're gone. And so they understand the importance of making good decisions really early in life. And, they're guided by that. It was traumatizing to us all. And, I think they've learned some very important lessons from that. But no rebellion. They're good kids. They make good grades. They're respectful. They're good athletes. And, we battle. But looking at the whole grand scheme of things, I'll take my kids over any other kids any day of the week. They're good kids. They're respectful, and I love them dearly.
Good on you, man. Well done, Daddy. That's what I like to hear. Me, not so much. I'm having a hard time these days. It's, don't get me wrong. Good kids as well, respectful. But, this kid he refuses to get up. It's summertime and he's up all night. And it's like, I work early, man. I work early. So I got to go to bed. And then I'm leaving for work at 4:30 in the morning and I hear him screaming in his room because he's still awake from last night.
Hey, school starts up, and
I know. So I'm giving him a long leash, but no, more importantly, 2-a-days are starting in a month.
Oh yeah.
So
this is practice. So
this is what you got to look forward to. You got to look forward to the fact that he's a freshman at a pretty big school, which means that there's going to be juniors and senior females that he's going to see, and they will figure out different ways to motivate him. These are all the challenges that JP is getting ready for.
That's right.
I'll take that challenge every day of the week. If you just get up and go to school and just make an effort, make a solid effort, not for me, not for your mom, but meant for you. Yeah. And that's what I'm trying. And teaching accountability. That is still the most, you'd think it's the easiest thing, but it's very, very difficult to get that in there properly without being too controlling and trying to teach. This parenting thing, it's not easy. Okay? If you have questions, y'all, and you need help, I don't have the answers for you, but I'm going to try my best to give you those answers. Okay? Yeah. All right, gentlemen. What you got? Nick, I've come on.
Man. Wow. I feel bad for you, buddy.
It's not as bad. I've got Avery to lean on.
I still got forward to, though.
I still got baby girl to lean on, man.
Yes. For a couple more years. Yeah.
But barely. I'm starting to see it. Just little twinges, man. That my baby girl's 11. She just turned 11 like months ago.
Oh, yeah. You got
and that's my youngest.
Left. Yeah.
Yeah. I barely, maybe. We'll see. Maybe. She's going into junior high this year, 6th grade. Yeah, junior high is now 6th grade. Yeah. And, man, I am going to Florida this weekend, you guys. Going to Florida. I got a job at the airport, Nathan. As I added a 5th job to my repertoire. because of free flights, the benefits. I can fly anywhere in the world for free. It's amazing. And every weekend now I'm like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? What are we going to do? And I promised baby girl she's going to go to Hawaii before school starts. And I had 5 days off in a row coming up this weekend, and I never got my tacos last time, so I'm taking them back to Florida.
So you flew down there and got hung out by a hurricane.
Oh, dude, monsoon. I got hammered, man. I should have checked the weather. That's the first rule of thumb, y'all. Traveling, check the weather. Oh, cars were floating down the street.
Was this about a month ago?
Yes. It was
I got stuck in Miami too.
Oh, we were there at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I couldn't get a flight out for like 2 days. I showed up. The taco place was closed on a Tuesday, for the record. What the hell kind of taco shop is closed on a Tuesday?
I know, even if there's a hurricane, you open up. Like,
but it was Tuesday and it was closed. My plans were ruined. And then Wednesday is when everything went to hell, and they closed because you literally could swim up to the place. The water was 3 feet high to my waist, and cars, like I said, were floating down the street. It was bananas.
Man, thank God I wasn't with you. I would have drowned.
But yeah, man, I couldn't get a flight out. What did he say?
I don't even have to do it anymore.
I didn't hear it. What did he say?
Just a good thing I wasn't with you. I would have drowned. It was a hype joke.
Oh, man.
So what were you doing in Miami?
I was there. I've got a law office, or my corporate law firm is in Miami.
Okay.
So I was down there, had some meetings with my law firm. I was scheduled to do a podcast down there, but it was obviously canceled. But yeah, I couldn't catch a flight out of Miami or Fort Lauderdale, so I got on the Bright Line and 4-hour train ride to Orlando, and I finally got out of Florida and came back home.
Yeah, man. Thursday night, because I can only fly standby, for free. If I want to buy the ticket, then, no problem. But I got the last seat on the plane out. And I'm like, just take me anywhere. Okay, I don't care where I'm going. Just get me out of here. And I ended up taking the last flight, got into Houston, and then from there it was easy getting home. But okay, to round out the last few questions, since we were talking Golden Steer earlier, if that is your number one go-to place in Vegas, where's Miami, or South Florida, I should say? Where do I need to go eat and experience in Southern Florida? From the word of Dr. Nathan Bryan.
Well, I have two places. One is called Prime Italian.
Okay.
It's right there on Ocean Drive, kind of the south end of Ocean Drive.
Miami?
In Miami, South Beach.
Right.
Maestro's, they just opened up a new Maestro's steakhouse in Miami. Maestro's is it's a chain, great food. The other is Prime 112 for steaks, and then there's always Joe's Joe's Crab House.
All right. And I'm going to give you one back. Okay. It's the quick and easy, man. It's called the Hollywood Beach Shack, or the Beach Taco Beach Shack. Sorry, Taco Beach Shack. Taco Beach Shack in Hollywood Beach. Best fish taco I've ever had in my life, man. Blackened, grilled mahi. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally why I'm going this weekend. My kids, they want to go in the water and go on the beach. I want the tacos. And it's happening. I'm excited.
2 for 1.
Yes. All right. So we only got a couple questions left. Before I throw out my last important ones, Jesse, you got anything?
Just thank you. We've been trying to make this happen for over a year. So happy to get you on. Can't wait to get this out there. And thanks again for being awesome.
Oh, thank you, Jesse.
And I feel like we should do more with you, because it was a whole lot of Trump there for a while. And I apologize. My fault. So, if we want to arrange another one, I would love to have you back on. Nick, you got anything?
Yeah. No, I'd love to talk more about the nitric oxide stuff and learn more about how I can heal myself. That's it's like, I'm super in. I can't wait to check out.
We probably could start with me giving you a sample bottle, because I still have a few here. Nathan's okay with that.
Yeah, this was actually when we were talking about this at dinner with Bryan about what happened to Nick. And we really wanted to get in, it was at that point we should have done the podcast and got, him started and talking to you on all of this. And here we are a year, well, gosh, it's been almost 2 years now, man.
Yeah, almost 2 years. And I've gone through like tons of MRIs, spinal taps,
and Bryan was just certain that he could help you.
Yeah, and we'll talk offline.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, man. All right. I love that. Making All right. Here's the big question that I like to ask, Doctor.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
If
Born
you were to
ready.
give one piece of advice to any new father or soon to be father about being a father, what's it going to be?
It's unconditional love. I mean, there's going to be good times. You're going to, but you have to, it's your creation and you got to look at it. And this is God's gift to you. It's unconditional love. There's going to be good times. There's going to be bad times, but you got to remember you love these kids unconditionally and you got to set good examples. Kids pay attention and it's not one of these do what I say, but they do what I say, not do what I do. Right. You have to be good role models and good examples for your kid. But I think it's that unconditional love and setting good examples is really, I think, the key to raising good kids that are respectful and good members and productive members of society.
And there you go. You can't take that advice, my friends. I'm sorry if you saw my facial expressions just there. Thunder. Here it comes. It scared the crap out of me right in the middle of that gloriousness.
It's triple digits here, Nathan. We got thunder and lightning.
Yeah.
So it's like super, super dry. So
make sure you watch the news in about 4 hours in the Pacific Northwest because it's going to be hell on earth as it's on fire. It happens every single year, and that sucks for the lives of my children who like to go outside and breathe. It's terrible. Dr. Nathan Bryan.
On that note, stay safe, firefighters.
Yes, we love you all, man. We love you. You're amazing.
I have a lot of friends that are wildland firefighters that are gearing up for this week. So,
well, thanks, JP and Nick and Jesse. Thanks appreciate you having me on and having a conversation. It's great being with you, and let's do it again.
Absolutely. Yeah. Next time you're in Vegas, text Bavets. You ready? I'm calling it. The world's going to hear. It's on me. Because I owe you one, good sir. I owe you one, good sir. To everyone watching, all right, man. To everyone watching worldwide, wherever you may be and however you may be listening and or watching, thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. We will be coming at you with a ton more episodes in the very, very near future. And if you're watching this way in the future, thanks for checking us out. And make sure you go back and check out some of the old episodes. We'll catch you on the very next episode of Dadcast. Nick, are we still doing our partnered podcast? Our brother cast?
Yes. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, check out our brother podcast, The Rockstar Dad Show with Jarrett and Gary from Bowling for Soup.
Yeah.
Great dudes.
And I would be remiss if I didn't say one last thing. Also, do not check out Nick and Jesse's other podcast, Grind Lifestyle. Okay. I mean, do check it out. Check it out. It's awesome. They're doing great stuff over there. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a great rest of your day.
All right, guys. Later.
Later, guys.